Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So I'm back and I'm here to talk about the next massive move for Bitcoin that's coming soon since we had the halving event. So let's talk about this and why do I think it's coming up and everything else that's going on today. Let's do it. Welcome, guys. It seems like it's been forever since I'm back in my studio. But you know what? I am back. I got my usual setup. And Bitcoin is above 66,000 right now, which is good. A little bit higher than yesterday, a little bit higher than the day before, a little bit higher than the day before that. We're coming back up, right? So a lot of people are wondering what's going on. Why is Bitcoin not moving yet? Since we had the halving event, why are we not at all-time high yet? Well, I got things to share with you about that. So what's going on? Okay, let's get started. The halving event, right, of course, did happen. So now, every day, there will only be 450 Bitcoin produced. Not 900. It's been cut down to 450 per day. That's not a lot. That is not a lot if you think about it. That's the whole world fighting for only 450 being produced per day. Mr. 100, which I've covered before many times in the past, he usually purchases between 600 and 900 per day. He himself will buy more than all the new Bitcoin being produced. Think about that. Okay, and of course the halving event is the most bullish catalyst of any cycle, and I don't think it's going to be different this cycle. But if you look at the previous halving events, and we had 3 prior to our current one, so we just had our 4th. But if you look at the very first one, Bitcoin shot up 54x. Second halving, Bitcoin went up 13x. The last halving, 7x, and the current one, what will it be? Maybe a 5x, maybe a 4x. Even a 4x would put Bitcoin at 250,000 plus. That's a 4x. But if we did a 5x, we would be above 300,000. If we did a 7x, Bitcoin will be at $500,000 by the end of this cycle. Think about that. There's a possibility, because of the ETFs and institutional FOMO, there's a possibility we do a 7x like before that would put Bitcoin at $500,000 by the end of this cycle. That's quite amazing. That's quite amazing, guys. So we just gone through that. But of course, when you zoom out, it just seems like, well, it's so obvious, right? But when you zoom in, you'll realize that Bitcoin doesn't start moving right away after halving event. Sometimes it takes months, especially in 2020 and 2021. That took a little bit before we started moving. So it could be this time around, or now that I'm back, we just start rallying. I don't know. But nevertheless, this is going to happen. This next leg up, this cycle, the parabolic phase of this cycle is about to come. It's really that simple. Now, there will be always some that will make you think that it's not, okay, that this is not going to happen ever, including Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan. He's still saying, despite everything, despite JP Morgan still being still offering a lot of Bitcoin services, and one of the only banks that can be a custody to BlackRock's ETF, Jamie Dimon is still saying there's no hope, and it's still a fraud, and it's still a Ponzi. Although JP Morgan, like I said, is very deep in Bitcoin right now. So, you know what? There will always be people that will try to scare you away. They'll tell you that, no, we topped out, or no, it's going to go down, or no, this or that, or whatever. But don't listen to them. Just like Warren Buffett, even though it's hard to ignore Warren Buffett because he has done so well for himself. But exactly 1 year ago, Warren Buffett said, I wouldn't spend $25 to buy all of the Bitcoin in the world. And since then, Bitcoin has gone up $500 billion. So I would say, yeah, maybe he's wrong on that assessment, huh? $25 to make $500 billion. You know, there are some that will never convert. At least he's not as, you know, negative as Jamie Dimon, but still someone like Warren Buffett, you know, they will just never understand. It's just not their thing. It's just too new for them, okay? But you know what? Luckily, most of you guys watching and all the institutions and everyone else don't have the same viewpoints. They do understand, and they're coming in and they're FOMOing in. Bitwise CEO thinks that wealth management firms will boost Bitcoin holdings, and not just them. Of course, the other funds too. Other funds have gotten permission to add Bitcoin ETFs into their holdings, and we have banks that are starting to do so. And then, of course, we have all the private companies and countries that are trying to do the same. They understand, okay? And that's going to be very positive, of course, going forward. Even the IMF is no fan of Bitcoin, not whatsoever. But even IMF has admitted that Bitcoin has become a necessary financial tool for preserving wealth amid financial instability. Even they recognize that. And these are the countries that they're trying to have a lock on or strangle on, right? Because the IMF and the World Bank, they loan these countries with financial instability. They like lock them in forever. And Bitcoin is helping them break out of that. So even the IMF is admitting this, even though they still don't recommend Bitcoin. But it's hard to ignore. Look at what has done for El Salvador and all these other countries that are turning pro-Bitcoin because of hyperinflation or instability, right? That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. What is this? Swiss Advocates wants to get the National Bank of Switzerland to hold Bitcoin into reserves. That's also very, very positive, right? All these things, guys, they're all positive. They're all positive. So again, it's just a matter of time before a massive move is coming, right? This next leg up is around the corner. And there are some that are predicting that, you know, recently we had some volatility. We fell down to about 60,000, right? And we come back up. I mean, so we've been hovering here for quite some time. And now, you know, we're around 66. But, you know, we saw 60,000 hit a couple times. And there are some that think that that is our low now because we're about to hit the parabolic phase. This 60K could be our bottom. And we could maybe, I know it's dangerous to say, we may never see 60K or below 60K ever again once we start moving upwards. This could be the last time. We had a couple dips down to like 59.5 or whatever. They may be the last times we ever see those numbers again. Once Bitcoin hits $250, $300, $400, $500,000, are we ever going to see 59.5 again or even 60K for Bitcoin? Probably not. Probably not. So this could actually be the bottom point for those of you guys that may be waiting on the sideline saying, well, I'm waiting for lower. I'm waiting for 40K or... It may never come, right? Those levels may never, ever come. We had our drawdowns. So far, our biggest drawdown has been 20%, and that's very tame compared to previous cycles, right? So, I mean, if you're still waiting on the sideline, thinking that Bitcoin is about to make a new low, or you're waiting for it to go to a lower level, you may never get that chance to buy in, right? Especially this. Looking at this, Bitcoin Archive said the last time he posted this, which was at $41,000, okay, he's just talking about this certain pattern that you see called a hammer candlestick. Last time he posted this, Bitcoin went from 41,000 all the way up to a new high of 73,000. And we just saw that that pattern again. So are we if you look at it, you look at the current circle with the previous circle, it's almost identical. It's almost identical, right? Like after we had that hammer candlestick, then we had a weekly where it was like very little in green, and then boom, we start moving. It looks exactly like that. And this week could be that huge week that drives us forward to 70,000 plus again. And what's going to happen after 70-something thousand? Well, this is the order book of all the major exchanges. Binance, Bitfinex, BitMEX, Bitstamp, Coinbase, right? So if you look at the order book, I mean, on Binance, you see some sell orders between 70 to 75,000, but you could see on the very left side, after 70,000, there's nothing between 75,000 and 80,000. So on Binance, if we break 75,000, boom, we're going up to 80,000. If you look at Bitfinex, yeah, we have some sell pressure around 73, 74, and then boom, there's nothing even above 80,000. Same thing on BitMEX, you have a little bit at 73, 75. Bitstamp, really nothing. But if you look at Coinbase on the very right side, yeah, there's some sell volume or sell orders. 75,000 is the major one. After we break through that, then we get a little resistance up to 80,000. But if you're looking at Binance versus Coinbase, Binance basically opens up after 75,000. Coinbase, same thing. We had a lot of sell pressure, 75,000. We break through that. Bottom line is we'll be at 80,000 plus in no time. Okay? That may be coming. That may be this week. We just started a new week. Okay? We could see 75,000 by the end of this week, and who knows, 80,000 shortly after that. So, all looking pretty darn good, pretty darn bullish. And the last thing I'll say about Bitcoin is this. According to Willy Woo's price ratio chart, if we're trying to determine how far we are in this cycle and how bullish, I guess, we are, not very at all. If you look at the previous tops of previous cycles and looking at where we are now, we're nowhere towards the top. Not even close. So the parabolic bull phase of this cycle hasn't even started yet. All right, so that is Bitcoin. And then what else is there? Let me talk a little bit about Solana, because a lot of you guys love Solana. And also, there are 8+ major projects that are about to airdrop. Okay, now a lot of you guys love airdrops because it's absolutely free. You get free tokens, right? And some of these airdrops have been very, very, very lucrative. The last one from Solana, I believe, was Jupiter, and a whole bunch of people made a whole bunch of money from these airdrops, right? So looking at this, there are several major ones coming up. Zeus Network is one that I have heard of before, okay? And, you know, they're basically integrating Bitcoin and Solana. So they're having one. And then there's Camino Finance, and then what is it, Tensor, and then you have Parcel, you have Drift. Man, it just keeps on going. And then Zeta Markets, and yeah. So there's more. But anyways, tonight I'll probably go deeper into each one of these. But a new thing that a lot of people are very excited about are these airdrops, right? As long as you use it, as long as you use these platforms, and then you're, you know, basically collecting points or basically showing volume, that's how you get these airdrops, right? So just to let you guys know, there are a lot that's coming to Solana, and not just Solana, and other chains too, right? But that's one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on Solana. Like this past trip, a lot of people asked me, you know, what's one of my favorite or one of my bullish plays for this cycle? It has to be Solana. Not only because of the memes, but there's a lot of dApps that are actually being used on Solana. And you have a whole bunch of airdrops too. And that's a new theme on Solana. It's actually doing really well. And we'll see. And hopefully with everything patched now, there's no more congestion, although I haven't really used this since I've been traveling, so we'll see. But speaking of memes, of course, there are still a lot, and even the base creator, the base chain creator from Coinbase says that, recognizes that memes, because memes started getting hot on base too, recognize that it has helped them tremendously. And I looked at DeFi Llama and just looking at TVL for base. Base has jumped up enormously within 1 month, up basically 99% TVL. I couldn't believe it. They're right below Arbitrum. They're sitting at number 6, really number 5 if you discount Tron. And they have been blowing up. And someone like Optimism has been really falling. So Optimism and other L2s, right, they may be losing to base. And why is that? Because of memes, right? Memes will continue to be a big driver of this cycle, and I don't think that's going to change. And I'm going to cover a lot more memes going forward. That's not going to change either. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. And by the way, I'm live streaming to Twitter today. I wonder how that's doing. All right. Let's see. Yeah, how many views am I getting on X? Wow. 720 viewers on X. That's not bad. I used to stream on X and then I stopped. But almost 1,000 on X. That's pretty good. All right. I'm still trying to get my bearings straight, for my like 2+ week trip. I did as much as I can, to keep you guys educated while on the go, and especially with the time difference and everything. Ooh, it's been very tough indeed. But I would say the trip was definitely worth it. Met a lot of fans, met a lot of projects, made a lot of connections. That's important. The last thing I was at was a KC event, the Karate Combat event. That was a huge success. Met a lot of other KOLs and legends in the space. Man, I'll tell you, I'm going to set up some crazy fights coming up in the IFC in the future. This thing is going to be massive. All right. Let me scroll up and make sure I didn't miss anything. Fernando asking about Avalanche. Yeah, we haven't heard much about Avalanche recently, right? They've been embracing memes. They've been embracing DeFi still, and games too. But the game narrative just hasn't really taken off yet. They have a lot of good games, but games have not been that strong. But I think they will. They will get stronger and carry, and that's going to help Avalanche in the future. Solana was patched last week, went very well. Great. Free said had 13 Solana airdrops last week on Soulflare wallet. Awesome. Some of these airdrops, and I get them all the time too, you think like they're worth nothing. And then you check later on and you realize, oh, this was $100. This is like $200. This is $50. It adds up. I mean, maybe you don't get $1 million worth of airdrops, but hey, a lot of these are absolutely free for just using the dApps that you normally use. Tauron. Can you look at a CTO I'm working on? I don't want to email our plan until we're ready. So if we're too small for you, no worries. Just getting a feeler. CMC Coin Market Cat. Well, if you're working on a meme, there's not much to look at. But sure, you can email me. We can't talk on X. It says limited by broadcaster. Yeah, I don't know how to change that. I was looking at the options. I didn't see anything for that specifically. Anyways, you guys don't need to chat on X. You can just chat here. Yeah, I was looking at it. I didn't see anything that allows me to change it. You know, my travel out of Dubai was actually pretty good. So I flew Emirates, and I heard Emirates had no basic delays. Other than my luggage went missing. So, not missing, but it's been delayed. So today, they said they'll drop it off, hopefully. Most of the stuff that I purchased was in my carry-on, so it was okay. But that 14-hour flight went pretty quickly because I had a pretty good... I was flying first class for the first time in Emirates. It was quite amazing. So time flew by really fast. But I didn't have any delays getting to the airport and getting out of the airport. Mark is asking, bullish on DFK, Jewel, Jade, Crystal, which is best? Jewel. Jewel is the best. And you can earn a lot of rewards right now by staking Jewel on Metis's biggest DEX, Hercules. So you could do a Jewel / Metis pair, and actually the APY is pretty big, actually. You know, I don't even know what the let's look at, where's Metis on here? Where is there? If you go to Metis, let's see. I actually never checked out how much what their APY is. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Okay. Earn pools. Here we go. Jewel Metis pool. 7 day 1.31. I thought it was higher than that. That's V3. V3 vaults. Oh yeah. So V3 vaults here, Jewel with wrap Metis is 8.27. That's pretty good. And I don't know if there's a V2. No. Yeah, so I think this would be the one. So yeah, I would say Jewel for sure. The super chats look weird now on YouTube. It looks different. Have you seen Soulstream? Marshmallow asks, looks interesting. No, I have not. 1 million. Very, very, very low. Streaming protocol on Solana blockchain. Yeah, I don't know. Is this the protocol? So it's like Twitch or something, right? Yeah, I've seen so many of these come and go. like a decentralized streaming platform or protocol. And maybe on Sol it could work out, but it's too new right now, and I've seen so many others fail. What is this? It's a wax? Cross-chain between Solana and Wax. I'm sorry. Wax is like, that is one that no one talks about. No one talks about Wax. So I don't know if cross-chain abilities go do well for them. What's your play at the moment? DCA are waiting for a dip. I mean, I don't think that we're going to get a much more of a dip than we had, which was down here, right? We saw a couple dips over here to go sub 60,000, but I don't think we're going to see lower than that. I think we're done. Done with the dips. Joshua, big super chat. Can you chat kitten with hat? Come on, Joshua. I appreciate the super chat, but man, if you want to create a new meme, you can't try to copy, existing name. It's just not going to work out, okay? We had too many with hats, with dogs, with cats, with whatever, right? Kitten with hat is not going to do better than cat with hat. It's just another copycat, right? So you gotta come up with a better name. And this whole thing about like lock liquidity for 1 year, it should be lock liquidity forever. Most of these fair launch ones are locked forever. But you know what? The dirty degens, they may be covering it. So that show on CRU Plus from Josh and Scott, a lot of people seem to enjoy it, so they will continue to do it. They may even push it up to 2 this week, but they may be looking at Kitten with Hat and many of the others. I think this week is going to be good. I don't know. I have a feeling that this is the week that we will push upwards. We've been going sideways for too long. Opinion on starting a Bitcoin node? I don't really have an opinion about that. I met a few miners on this trip, and my answer to them is the same I'll give you. Basically, like, well, I guess a node is different, but like if you're going to get into Bitcoin mining, I'd rather just put the money into Bitcoin than buy the equipment and keep up with all the upkeeping and stuff. Someone's telling me, they also feel it's true because there's a lot of upgrades and stuff you had to worry about. It's just time consuming. I'd rather just put that money into Bitcoin. That's really about it. Small having a huge week. What do you think about Small? I don't know. I haven't looked at it. $22 million. I would say that's not having a huge week at all. That's not looking good. Opinion on TokenFi. Yeah, TokenFi, sister token of Floki, and it does have some integration, but basically allows people to create tokens. It's not a new concept, but if it takes off, then it takes off. You know, I don't know if it distracts Floki though. You know, I don't know if it's the same team, but maybe. Thoughts on Only One and OnlyFans clone on Sol? You know, there's an old project. I don't know if it's the same one called Only One. It was for like, you know, following KOLs. And I was in that. But then like they disappeared and came back. I don't know if they rebranded. But if they became like a OnlyFans, then I may start using it. But yeah, I mean, this is why I'm so bullish on Solana. You know, when I first said that, hey, Solana's go flip ETH, most people were joking or laughing about it. But now when I mention it, people are like taking that seriously. I think it's going to happen. I'm still thinking maybe by the end of this year, but if not, it's ended by this cycle. Hey, I think it's going to happen. Everything, if you think about it, what's really going on ETH? Like, what dApps are really being used on ETH if you discount DeFi projects? Okay, like there's really nothing else being built on ETH at all. It's all DeFi stuff. There's actually like dApps on Sol that, even though they may not be that popular, but they're being used and they're being developed. What do you think about FET? Should I sell at $3? I think FET, I'm really interested in seeing what's going to happen with FET and their new token, ASI, once they merge. So, I don't know. I think they're going to continue to be one of the powerhouses of this cycle, but I don't know when they're going to merge with Singularity and Ocean. Forta and Arc Block, I'm not familiar with those. Not familiar. Everyone's asking me to check out Kitten with Hat. All right, fine, because so many people have asked me. Kitten with Hat. I mean, that doesn't look great. I was expecting this to be at like 50 million. So it pumped up, it dumped. And now it's recovering a little bit. It's been out for over a week. Bottomed out here. I don't know if that looks great, to be honest. Stanley Pup Team, thank you. Soul Bear Case, Bull Case. Buy more after something. I don't know. I just think I'm just very bullish on Soul. That's all. I want to see what you think of the Kitten with Half chart. It's not great. I don't know why you guys think that's a great looking chart. It's not great at all. When doing due diligence on a new meme, do you prioritize market cap or wallet addresses holding it? Wallet addresses is big, but you can kind of fake that. You can airdrop to a whole bunch of people. I think market cap and number of holders are important. Liquidity is important, and you also look at the top holders. I think that's very important. Those are some of the things to look at. If you notice that a large amount is being held in the liquidity pool, and it's not locked, that is 100% guaranteed it's a rug. So be careful with that. Make sure you see if they burned their LP or they locked it for 100 years. That's important. But if you see like a huge amount, like 20, 30, 50% in say Radium or wherever, and it's not locked, it will rug for sure, no matter how high it goes. Couldn't with hat, okay. Fetch to ASI switch this May, okay. Can you look up one of those? No, sorry. I actually had pretty good sleep. I think I'm over my jet lag due to yesterday. I had only like 2 hours of sleep on the plane. I had 3 hours of sleep the day before, but yet last night I had like a good solid 8 hours. So I think I'm okay. Can you just stare at a soul chart for a little bit? There's no need for that. How was your knee in Paris and Dubai? I would say pretty good. Held up pretty well. I was walking a lot, but I wasn't running or anything. So now that I'm back, I need to, I hate to say it, I had to break my carnivore diet a little bit because it was very hard to just eat meat while on the go. So I got to get back on that. Now that's warmer here where I am, gotta do a lot more exercise. I gotta drop more weight for the remainder of this year. Do you think Sheep can go for another run up? Yeah, of course. Of course. Um, I'm not that bullish on Sheep, but it will definitely go back to its previous high. I'm sure it'll get back to its previous high and break through, but most of the money will be going to the newer memes. There's no doubt about that. Walk around barefoot outside is called grounding, gets rid of jet lag. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I, run, I walk around barefoot in the house. Why does it have to be outside? Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to end it. Basically, Bitcoin is doing well right now. I think I'm very positive for this week. I think this week Bitcoin could do well, especially since I'm back and the George effect is in. But there are a lot of great things, guys. A lot of very bullish things. You don't want to miss out. Stay with Bitcoin. Stay with crypto overall. And I'll see you guys tonight. Same time. 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care.